Women of Reddit, what do men do that they think is okay but is actually creepy? It's not most men at all, but there was one man who acted super creepy and seemed to think it was fine. I worked with this guy back when I was 18. The two of us as well as some other co-workers would hang out all the time, and I was generally friendly with the guy. Same sort of friendly as I'd use with anyone else, but I guess it made him obsessed with me. For about 5 years he would constantly message me telling me how amazing I am. He clearly seemed to think that was a good idea and it would make me feel good and I guess make me into him. Or maybe he already thought I was into him? Point is, if someone turns you down they probably aren't playing hard to get. Try once. If they turn you down and you suspect they're playing the stupid hard to get game, then ask them directly. Don't pester them constantly for years. That is scary behavior. And yes, I did block the guy eventually. Then he started making alternative accounts to add me with. That's where we are getting into stalker territory though. TL doctor / when someone says no, you should back off, not turn into a stalker. Hi cutie, 3 blushes, vomiting face. Check out /r/creepy asterisks for some shining examples of this. Putting their hands on your thigh or back casually while talking to you. If I'm being friendly, it's not a signal for you to touch me. Far too many co-workers, creepy uncles, etc. find this okay. Especially when they actual super defensive with their hands up like okay geez. When you tell them not to, they would feel just as offended if another man did it to them. So, I experienced this with a random drunk middle-aged lady at a bar one night. She kept grabbing my shoulder and I kept asking her not to because I have loose shoulder joints, so they come out of place really easily. It hurts quite a bit. I even explained this the first 3 times. The last time she grabbed my shoulder, I loudly said, "Could you fucking not?" Her super logical response to this was to mock my tone, then full on grab my tits from behind me. She was still somehow surprised and offended when I elbowed her in the face out of reflex. How hard is it to not touch people, stare at me? Like not glance at me or anything like that. But just stare, silently. Like, who told them that was okay? Sometimes I space out and don't notice I'm staring at someone. It's awkward as heck when I stop spacing out though. I have a habit of doing this. The worst is when I'm daydreaming at an airport or something similar where there's a lot of foot traffic. I'll be gazing off into the distance and then my vision will focus and realize I've been gazing directly at someone and making them feel super awkward. I hate myself in that moment and wish I could sprint over and explain, but that would make it much worse. I hate that, but I'm sure they hate it 10x worse. Now I try to always make sure I'm staring at the ceiling or floor. Real question, do the items listed happen to women all the time? My mind is blown at how obviously not okay these examples are. Sadly, yes. What I get from all of this is, 1. Actually tell someone if you're trying to pass them, but keep your bloody hands to yourself. 2. Acknowledge their existence if caught at an intersection, but don't flirt or be rude. 3. Talk about things of interest or importance. 4. If she's not interested, accept it as fact and drop it. This is not to say disregard the relationship/friendship, just don't pressure for more. 5. Dick pics are rarely okay. And even when requested should be met with healthy skepticism. 6. Do not assume physical contact within a relationship. 7. If you're making them uncomfortable, apologize. Am I missing anything of importance? Please note these are things I've tried to do myself. Though I still struggle with self-confidence/esteem and always feel as though I'm being too clingy or creepy even when I'm actively trying not to be. All that can basically be condensed to be considerate and recognize women have autonomy. I once repeatedly told a guy I had 0 interest in dating and was 100% devoted to celibacy for religious reasons, and he kept trying to find out my full name, and when I called him out on it, he said that's okay, because it'll be his last name one day. This was literally in the first and only conversation online we'd ever had. I don't do online chat anymore. Guys, don't play that confidence game. Just be you. I swear to God, that overconfidence to make up for perceived deficiencies thing is creepy as fuck. I am an elderly woman and it really pisses me off when men that I don't know call me sweetie or honey or sweetheart. Dudes. Just don't. I am not your grandma with a dish of cookies for you, could you be? I want a grandma that says dude. Also, I like cookies. I wish my parents, and grandma, were cool enough to use Reddit. My dad can barely use his flip phone. I don't have air in my car but it's so hot where I live so my windows are always down. When I come to a red light men try to talk to me from their vehicles and it makes me wildly uncomfortable because I obviously can't get away. Ask them if they know Jesus as their personal Lord and Savior. They should leave you alone, tout sweet. Possibly the best way to end any newly started conversation. Guys who try to assert their dominance by crushing your hand while shaking it. I have arthritis and it is excruciatingly painful. A guy would do that to a woman? I always hate it cause I don't want to be all I'm a dainty woman, please be gentle with me. But also who the fuck are you trying to alpha male by crushing my hand? I get it, you're a man, no need to attempt to assert dominance. Though my partner thinks they don't even realize they're being that aggressive, and that's probably the most likely explanation. Where's my hug? If you have to force a hug you don't have a hug level relationship with that person. Oh man, there's a guy at every job like that. Honking, yelling or some form of catcalling while I'm running or even just walking down the street. I don't think any relationship in the history have ever started with some creepy guy catcalling a random woman walking down the street. Why is this still a thing? I hate it, can you imagine? Oh sweetie, tell us how you two met. I was on my morning jog and he whistled and then yelled damn look at that ass. I knew he was the one. Saying anything along the lines of you're perfect upon minutes of meeting, classic schmosby. When they walk behind you they either touch your lower back or give your shoulders a squeeze. Those things are only okay for my husband to do. No one else. It isn't cute or endearing. It's extremely uncomfortable to deal with and makes women avoid you or cringe when you're near. One of my friends told me to try this on my first date. How she reacts will clue you in on how she feels about you. I adamantly refused and he told me I was being a pussy and beta male and all I could say was that he was a decade older than me and times have changed. There are other ways besides invading her personal space the very moment I meet her to discover how she feels about me. Thank you for not taking him up on his bullshit. I've lost some strong attractions to guys because they didn't respect my personal space. Yes, even on dates. I know you said you're a lesbian, but I think you're cute and wanted to know if you'll give me a chance. Admittedly that has thankfully only happened to me online, and that is a politely worded version, but I have plenty of friends who have gotten it in real life too. A guy once tried to ask out one of my lesbian friends once, by claiming that she just hasn't found the right dick yet. I stopped in, and told him that he just hasn't found the right dick yet. He was not gay, or amused, lol. I fucking hate when a guy walks behind me if they're trying to get by how they put their hand on my lower back. I don't know you, please don't touch me, it's pretty simple. It happens all the time. Guys do this? I only do this to my wife. I didn't know it was an actual thing with random guys doing it to random women. I am also stunned by this revelation. Dare me to kiss my girlfriend in front of him to prove I'm lesbian/bi. Disgusting and daily. Earlier this year, the attack on two women on a bus started like this, no? So there was this guy who I went on a date with. Once, never again. We had drinks, dinner, walked a bit. It was great until the point where I had to go well it was nice, hope we can get to do it again soon, but I have to get home. Him, let me walk you home. Me, it's okay, it's not that far. Him, no, I'll walk you. Back off, mate, I don't want you to know my address. I kind of get where he's coming from, TBH. Like I haven't been on many dates, but they were all with an amazing girl and never felt long enough. If she had been walking home rather than Ubering, I definitely would have offered to walk with her and never consider that it would be creepy. Which I guess makes it a perfect response to this thread. It's not the offer that's creepy, it's the insistence. Asking to walk her again after she has said no. When strange men approach me and start asking personal questions like we're on a first date. Honest question, as a socially inept person, I'm often told that a good conversation strategy is to ask the person about themselves. How should I make sure I'm not doing this? Just don't do it literally out of nowhere. If you have never even seen this woman before, there are literally 0 appropriate personal questions that you can ask her without her being creeped out. If these questions come up in conversation, with context, and the discussion of this topic is initiated by her, then you're good to go. Otherwise, keep it very casual and ask open-ended questions. And make sure to actually listen to her responses. Catcalling. Like, WTF. In what world is someone gonna turn around and be appreciative instead of creep the fuck out? Dad, how did you and Mom meet? Well son, I saw her walking down the street and just knew she was the one I was meant to be with. So I yelled, "Hey baby. That ass is looking fat. Wanna ride this dick?" And that was it. You were born 9 months later. Hey baby, you ever had your asshole licked by a fat man in an overcoat? I've come across a few men who don't seem to understand that I have a boyfriend means I'm not single and I don't want to be pursued or flirted with. I eventually figured out it is more effective to just say you're not interested in them. I thought for ages that I have a boyfriend was a nice way to point out maybe they're interesting but I'm not available to even consider it. But enough people saw that as a challenge that I switched to nope, not interested. That's honestly really smart. I guess you're right in that they think well if she was single then maybe. This random thing makes me so hard A. Did I ask about your dick? B. You all get bonus from waking up. That isn't a compliment. C. Stop making this about your dick. When I don't want to talk / go on a date / accept a drink / give them my number / etc. and they try to negotiate, coerce or rationalize me into saying yes. If I say thanks, but I'm not interested, it does not mean that I'm playing hard to get. If a woman doesn't respond positively to flirting, back off. Playing hard to get isn't a thing outside of 1950s movies. Showing me porn or random photos of hot women to put me in the mood to go out with them, I guess. I don't even know why men think this is a good icebreaker, but it's happened to me and to my friends on multiple occasions so it seems to be a thing. Men, why? Am I supposed to be flattered that you collect porn of girls who look vaguely like me? Don't believe movies. A big dramatic confession of true love to a girl you've never even been on a date with isn't romantic. It's awkward at best and terrifying at worst. Okay, the first one is creepy, but unsurprising. The second one, I'm absolutely baffled. How fucking stupid do you have to be to think that's a good idea? When you get messages like "Hi hun, 2 hearts, kissing face," in a business setting. I draw for a living and regularly get guys messaging me under the guise that they want to commission something, when it's really just an excuse to get closer to me. This will sound blunt and bitchy, but I don't want you. I want your money. You commissioning, or not? Alright, stop wasting my time, thank you. Talking badly about their ex and their kids. I'm a single middle-aged woman. I don't know what's going on with some men, but a lot of them regret having kids and are mad about having to give money to their ex to raise them. I'm not talking about unreasonable amount of money, but for example $100 for 2 kids at the beginning of a school year. And of course their ex is crazy for asking for it. She's the one who wanted kids. Some have complained about having to spend time with them. Why are they telling me this? We just met. It makes them seem so mean and cheap. If you don't want kids, get a vasectomy. Tell you to smile. It used to make me really uncomfortable, now I just grin manically at them. My standard response is a deadpan, I am smiling. That is so Wednesday Addams, I love it. Constantly pushing for a date after saying we aren't interested. Like a high school boy having a crush and the girl saying I just like you as a friend. And they keep pushing like she'll fall in love. Sorry, that's just a fairy tale. Please stop after we say we don't like you. No hard feelings. We just don't want to date you. That hassling you for a date because you don't have a BF is not okay. But you don't have a BF. The point is, dude, I'd rather be single than date you. Take the bloody hint. I've never understood this mentality. I've seen guys do this. As a guy, I can't imagine trying to fight past a no. I don't care what the reason is. If I ask you out and you say any variation of no, I'm just going to call off the whole thing. But you don't have a boyfriend. And? What does that have to do with you, my guy? Like single girls are just waiting for anybody to ask them out. Yikes, they respect the idea of another man's property more than a woman's autonomy. Thinking it's okay to send dick pics by way of introduction. Maybe I'll want to see it at some point eventually, but try saying hi first. Send some random dick pic back to them. They'll know what it feels like to receive an unsolicited dick pic and be mortified upon discovering that you have a dick. My favorite was the meme where someone replied, to an unsolicited dick pic obviously belonging to an adult, "Is that a child's penis? Why are you sending me child porn?" Flip the script. If you're not my father, don't call me sweetheart. It's creepy and condescending.